1997, rising external debt and dependency on short-term inflows of foreign capital led to an economic collapse in Thailand. Unable to pay its foreign creditors, the government had to devalue its currency. The economic turmoil spread like wildfire, affecting economies of neighboring countries, like that of Indonesia, South Korea, Malaysia, and Singapore, affecting billions of dollars of foreign investment. The crisis turned so grim that the International Monetary Fund had to step in and offer bailout packages to the most affected in order to help the economies avoid default. That was the Asian financial crisis. It is pedagogical in the sense that it shows that even a debt crisis in a small country can cause chain reaction damage to other nations when it is linked to the global economy. In 2022, another small Asian country is going through a crisis. Sri Lanka's economic turmoil is violent, tragic, and worrying. 24 years later, the 1997 crisis is a good history lesson to revise. While the world watched the collapse of Sri Lanka's economy, India's neighbor to the north is also in a worrying economic space. Nepal's foreign reserves have diminished by 18% since last July, just enough to last for 6 months of imports. Inflation in the country is at 7%, highest in the last 5.5 years. The debt to GDP ratio is at 40%, a significant rise from 25% in 2015. There's a ban on import of luxury items like cars, cosmetics, and gold. In order to cut down on the fuel shortage, the government has reduced the work week to 5 days. And it is an election year. India's neighbor to the west is also not in a healthy economic place. Pakistan's 13th bailout plan has been put on hold by the IMF, and the country has sought loans from Saudi Arabia and UAE. The trade deficit stands at $39 billion. The foreign reserves are at the lowest and will not survive past June. The country has rationed fuel and electricity subsidy. Oil imports constitute a major chunk of the GDP for Maldives. Another big sector is tourism. Both have been hit. Oil imports from the Russia-Ukraine war and tourism from the pandemic. But it isn't just Maldives. Many tourism-dependent economies, with reliance on remittances in South Asia, are suffering from the double whammy of COVID-19 and the Russia-Ukraine war. Add poor governance, rising external debt, food-fuel inflation, and the crisis worsens. South Asia, what was once the world's fastest-growing region, has been suffering for some time now, showing signs of weakening economies. Even China is facing economic stagnation. Is this the beginning of another Asian financial crisis?